Discourse analysis. First, we'll understand the word discourse. Discourse means talk, what you talk. Discourse means what you write. What you write and what you talk in social context or in society. When it is analyzed, that is called as discourse analysis. Means the content is analyzed, the language is analyzed, and the context, in which context you are talking about, in which context you are writing about, is also analyzed. Yesterday we have seen analysis of two news anchor, Ravish Kumar and Sudeep Chaudhary. Actually, whatever they speak in entire show can also be considered as discourse analysis. Because number one, they are debating or discussing on the social issues. The first condition is fulfilled. Number two, they are talking about the written communication which is available in newspapers, in law, and in various letters or various journals. Second, they are also discussing about what is talked by whom, who has talked what, and these are the two real things. The context are chosen by them. They choose the context, and the moment they choose the context, they differ from one another. Means the context chosen by Ravish Kumar is unfavorable to the politician or particularly government, and context chosen by Sudeep Chaudhary is favorable to politicians or rather to the government. So the context, content and the talk, when it is analyzed, it is called as discourse analysis, and this much is enough for all of you to understand this part. In fact, in qualitative research, discourse analysis has more meaning than what I have explained. So we'll see it step by step in this chapter. Talking about the term discourse or content analysis. In a layman language, the word discourse refers to a talk, which refers to the way in which people describe or explain their experiences. Self-explanatory and meaningful. Now just come to the definition of discourse analysis. The similar name is content analysis, but still there is a difference between content and discourse analysis. Though it is synonymous, discourse refers to the talking, writing, and its discussion on the social ground, discussion and debate on the social ground. And content can simply refer to a talk. Content can be a simply written content. Content can be simply expressed in language. So discourse has more meaning than content analysis. Now what is explained by Hammersley in 2002? He said it is a study of the way versions of the world, society, event and psyche are produced in the use of language and discourse. Means how the society, how the world, how various events and how the mindset is expressed in terms of the language, means how it is discourse or discharged. I will give you one example that will give you the clarity. Recently, the war is going on between Ukraine and Russia. Now, Russians are afraid of encroachment in their region, and that's why they have requested Ukraine not to become a part of Western group, not to go into G20. Whereas America supported democratic movement.
It's not G20, sir, it's NATO.
Sorry, it is NATO. It is NATO. So Ukraine should not become a member of NATO. That was emphasized by Russian government, Russian governance. Whereas America has supported the Ukraine on the issue of democracy, and Ukraine themselves have supported on the basis of self-reliance, self-independence. So the version of president of each country was different. It was in the context of their benefit, their way. They have narrated the whole thing which is meaningful to them, and later on it is analyzed by various media people across the world differently. Indian media has analyzed it differently. European media has analyzed it differently. Russian and Ukrainian media has analyzed it differently. That is nothing but the discourse analysis. Means the analysis made by various media people about the reasons, root causes and situations, events which are responsible for the war. Initially it was war condition, and then the war took place. Now same thing is happening between China and Taiwan. Same thing, yet war has not begun, but the situation is like that. And here also the media is involved in discourse analysis. So this much is enough, this example is enough to understand. Now there are other definition by Bernard Berelson. You can go through it, it is given in the book. I will shift it to the assumption of discourse analysis. Psychologists assume that the human behavior can only be studied with objectivity, that is, without involvement of any biasness or subjective subjectivity of the researcher as well as subject people under study. So what is the assumption of a discourse analysis? It is an assumption of a psychologist, whereas the assumption of the media person can be different. What psychologists assume that various social phenomena, what is happening in various communities, what is happening in various religion, what is happening in various geographies, that can be studied objectively, systematically, without engaging into bias or without adding subjectivity. Only psychologists can do this, only social scientists can do this, media can never do that. And that is where the research has more importance over media or media news. Remember, the research is valued more than the media news. Research published in any journal has been given the value worldwide if the research is objective, effective and useful or beneficial to the society. Media news comes and goes every day. Nobody takes the cognizance beyond certain limit. But for research report, the world take the cognizance for years. Even now, what is a research done by Newton, Galileo, Einstein, we are taking benefit of it and we are also taking cognizance of it. It is available in our books. It is available in science books. That is the assumption of a discourse analysis in social sciences. It's not up to media. Media analysis is a very small part of discourse analysis. The approach also assumes that reality is socially constructed. It is assumed in a scientific research that reality can be categorized. The construct generally used by psychologists like personality, intelligence and thinking are explained as real and naturally occurring categories or events. So what is said here, what goes in our mind, the phenomena can be categorized. Like you can easily differentiate between intelligence and personality. You can easily differentiate between attitude and aptitude. Why this differentiation appeals to our mind? Because in our mindset, the entire neural network expresses this differently than one from other. Like when we talk about the personality, we can recall about 16 PF, and when we talk about the intelligence, we can recall about fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence, because the construct, these two construct, personality and intelligence itself are different. So that way, the real happening, the reality can be captured in terms of certain categories in a given situation, and then those categories can be given the name, and then it can be reported to the world. Like recently, if you remember, the word Godi media is more popular. That word was not there before 10 years. I think that word is coined by Ravish Kumar. I don't know exactly who is the source of, but Ravish Kumar is using the word frequently, Godi media. 10 years ago, there was no such word. But what has happened? In reality, the media has shifted from its objective. The media's responsibility is to question the government. So, what has happened? The media has later started supporting the government. And that is why the word Godi media has came into existence. So Godi media, this word came into existence is a result of a discourse analysis.